never changes. The Romans waged war to gather slaves and wealth. Spain built an empire from its lust for gold and territory. Hitler shaped a battered Germany into an economic superpower. But war never changes. In the 21st century, war was still waged over the resources that could be acquired. Only this time, the spoils of war were also its weapons. Petroleum and uranium. For these resources, China would invade Alaska, the US would annex Canada, and the European Commonwealth would dissolve into quarreling, bickering nation-states bent on controlling the last remaining resources on Earth. In 2077, the storm of World War had come again. In 2 brief hours, most of the planet was reduced to cinders. And from the ashes of nuclear devastation, a new civilization would struggle to arise. A few were able to reach the relative safety of the large underground vaults. Imprisoned safely behind the large vault door, under a mountain of stone, a generation has lived without knowledge of the outside world. Life in the vault is about to change.
Welcome everyone to Fallout Doomsday for Darkest Hour Hearts of Iron 4 game, and this will be my next playthrough on Darkest Hour, or sorry, my first playthrough on Darkest Hour, and it will be in the Fallout mod. Now, don't be actually, I guess, deceived by the appearance of this game. It is a masterpiece, okay? It may look rough, but under it, there's a bit of a diamond. Now, there's a few differences between, obviously, this game and what you are used to, which would be Hearts of Iron 4. Now, Hearts of Iron 4 and Darkest Hour do have the differences, and I made a video about it, so you can check it out. There will be a link in the top right. And in the meantime, let's just get started. We will be playing as the NCR, as you can already see. Partially because I just wanted to. Partially because they are a little bit easier than the other ones, and I haven't played Darkest Hour in forever, so having something that's easy is actually pretty good. Now, first of all, we must set up our government. The different sliders have been changed around a little bit for the Fallout Doomsday mod, but in general, they aren't that different from what they would be in a normal game. It's just that they have renamed them. So we're gonna go for some war aims because we like. We're gonna have more production once we reach the end of that, and we like doing war. So yeah. We need to set up our economy too. Consumer goods. We don't have any descent, so we can do that and keep the consumer goods quite low. Supplies. Let's keep a few supplies more than we need just to build up a bit of a stockpile. Then we need to upgrade some of our units, and the rest is going to be into it's going to be sunk into reinforcements because reinforcements are quite useful. But at the same time, our divisions are very low on tech, so we are going to avoid building those. We are going to instead. Also, these are pretty low on tech, so let's go to our technology first. We only have 3 technology teams, so we're going to need to work on that by increasing our industrial capacity. We're going to take some more levels into... Oh, actually, that's 2246 tech, so our level 1 is actually okay. It's not that bad. We could get Apocalyptic mercs, though. And we definitely need to get garrison because we have some garrisons in our army. So we're gonna get the... we're gonna first go and see if we have anything that can be used better. Now, Wasteland control, Night Stalkers, okay. So we are going to go for, I believe, pre-war military. Because this gives us bonuses towards our mechanized armor, etc. And we have some of those divisions in our control already, so we don't need to build them, and it will vastly increase their effectiveness, which is good. And then frag grenades is a new model for a brigade. Light mortars, that's going to be what I want to go for. It's going to be the NCR army. And then I wonder if I can do any social techs. No, we're pretty advanced already on those. And we have some blueprints as well, which is good. How about industrial tech? We're also pretty advanced on that. We could get organic trade transport, which would deactivate the other one, but the other one is not going to be available for a long time. This is going to increase our TC modifier, and that's pretty good. But also decrease our industrial efficiency towards producing supplies, which is not what we want to do, at least not quite yet. So we will actually go for the garrison. And the garrison is going to be researched by the Conqueror's Caravans. Okay, now we have our technology set up. We have a bit of a better picture of what our production will be. We will put in... What's that? Wasteland Patrol Rangers. Okay, that's no problem. We'll put some infantry into production, but it will be a while before they actually get produced, because all of our production is into reinforcements. Diplomacy, there's not much that we have to do right now. Speaking of our army, we have a few divisions in our capital, which is supposed to be called Shady Sands, but it's called El Portal, meaning very Mexican about it. We have an HQ, which what HQs do, we'll talk a little bit more later when we can actually use them, because as you can see, they are locked and may not move until the event unlocking it has happened, so we can't actually move these guys. We'll go give them a different leader. Perhaps someone with defensive and Stonewall Defender. Yeah, you. It says that it's red because it's 4 battalions, but since there's an HQ, the number of divisions that this guy can command is doubled. That's actually what the HQ does, so I just lied. I'm going to just say it right now. Then we have some garrisons, 3 of them, 1 infantry battalion, 1 scout battalion, which is locked. Scouts are basically paratroopers, they can paradrop, and they have certain types of bonuses and certain terrain types. And then regulars down here, border guards, which is a garrison unit with patrollers, and then a bit of an air force, which is nice. We have a couple of prop fighters, attack helicopters, and then the armor. Now we have a couple of mechanized infantry and armor battalions, which is great because not a lot of countries, or I guess states, actually have those right at the start, which is great. In terms of money, we don't seem to be doing that well, so we will leave intelligence alone for now, and let's get right off. That already took quite a while, but it will be fine. Paradox's Curse, free resources, that's an event. You can read it if you want. There will be some very strange events, and a lot of people get very strange events, so we're going to have to click through all these. This is going to be the one that we want to read. We're in New California Republic, about as close to good places to live as you've ever gonna get in these wastelands. I've been running it as president for lots of years now, and that's the old president speaking, the old president of the NCR. By the way, the game is based on the lore of these first and second games, so it's gonna be a part of the lore that not a lot of people know about, which is, I guess, a little bit better in some ways. But yeah, just remember that it's not based on the lore of Fallout 3 or 4, but on the lore of Fallout 1, 2, and I believe Tactics as well. I don't know what that game was, but oh well. We've built ourselves up from nothing, right back from where we were just in the town of Shady Sands. I know that the actual Vault Dweller, which is the character of the first Fallout, when he came out, was taught with Vault 13, his quest and his dreams. You can see a statue out in the front here. I'm getting old now, but I ain't done with it yet. We've got a governing council, we believe in the rule of law, and a fair chance for everyone, and our rangers will make damn sure that happens. At least while I'm still kicking. I am Tandy, and that's the president. Basically, she just summed up the mission of the NCR. While they're very aggressive, expansionist, and the likes, they're kind of still committed to the old world values of law and order and the likes. So what they end up doing is being the better alternative in every conflict. Welcome to Fallout Doomsday mod, that's just... Okay, I am going to just click this so you can read it, but I already know what the Fallout history is supposed to be. Choose your destiny, that would give us a trait. I'm not going to do that because I don't deal with it. This is just the Fallout history. You probably already know it. Just giving you time to pause and actually read it. Okay, more events. That's also some events for other countries that we don't care about, at least not yet. The NCR Rangers are our armed forces in a way. More of our police force, actually. We hate slavers. Yes, we do hate slavers. Fuck slavers. That's what I always say. The only good slaver is a dead slaver. Now, the slaver thing actually is quite important because there is 2 sliders, the Inhumane and the Control slider, which do influence attack. Let's go to social text. You can do either a settling economy or a slave economy. And some countries around here, some states, I guess, around here, such as, let's see if we can find one. No, not you. Well, the Enclave for one. The Enclave, and I believe, well, Caesar's Legion, definitely. They kind of work on just capturing slaves. This is just the history on the NCR. You can read it. It's pretty useful to actually understand what's happening, so I suggest you do. And that's actually decreasing our national descent, even though we don't have any descent. Okay. Soon enough, these events will stop counting. Okay, sure. And once there's less history events, I'll start reading some of them. There's a couple of wars going on the other side of the wasteland of the United States, so we won't really pay attention to them. Ground rules. Now, this is actually telling us about the fact that some units are just locked. And we should not change their names, because for units you can change their names like that. And we should not change their names, because if we do change the name, then the events that unlock them will bug out and not fire. So we don't want to do that. So we want to use our units. Wisdom stockpiles, yes, that is essentially, well, I've already explained stockpiles in my other video, so it's fine. Endgame choice. Now, this is an event that's gonna be changing around literally the story of the mod. You can either do a sandbox, or you can have a sort of final confrontation if you send the code, which we will. You can also read the event, obviously. Now, speaking of our, slavery in the Wastelands, this is a little bit more important. Slavery is very common in the Wastelands. Many nations and groups practice it. Some slaves are happy with their lot because it's generally better than being eaten by a wild deathclaw, but most lead very miserable lives. The slave trade is mainly controlled by the Slavers Guild, a ruthless and organized group who, over generations, have come to dominate the trade. They guard this monopoly with a jealous zeal. They have outposts and trading houses all over the Wasteland and are rich and powerful. Just a few years ago, the now semi-mythical hero of the Wastelands, the Chosen One, who is the character of the second Fallout game, which is quite important to the story of the Fallout Doomsday mod as well, killed a slave lord called Metzger in the Den, which is a little tiny thing up here. I know. Yeah, is it up here? Pretty sure. And closed the guild center there, but the guild has since set up its entire headquarters in Den, and now controls it more tightly than ever it did. With the rise of the fledgling nation-states in the Wasteland, the guild is doing a roaring trade in human cargo. In the lines of chained, empty-eyed people filling out and into the large slave markets seems endless. Such markets are present in the Raider territories, in Den, in New Reno, in Junktown, and Caesar has built his legion on building up the slave trade out east. The guilds bind these member states together so that a ruler would be wise enough to heed the power and wealth of the guild. Life is hard in the Wasteland. This is kind of what we're fighting to destroy. The Savage Beast, that's just, well, it's best to play without a save monthly switched on. It's just a funny way to say that things really often crash. So let's save very, very often. I believe my autosave is monthly. Good. You can also autosave weekly, I think, but it's a little bit too combustion versus electric. Fine. That's giving us the fusion cell the explanation for the resource fusion cells, and I believe there's also another resource energy cells, right? Now, yes, I know about locker units. Tragic the garnering. You really are tragic. What a waste of time. Yeah, that would be spawning more and more events, which right now we don't have the time to deal with. And post-war republic. My president, our society is now based on the ancient and sacred principles of our republic. We learned a grim lesson of war. Now we try to build a more or less just society with the rule of law and moderation in most things. This is why our people support us. We have a parliament, which in each area sends its representatives. The rule of law and the representative style of government is having an enormous positive effect on our industry. Industry is thriving. And that's increasing our industrial efficiency total. That is a modifier that is given to us by our post-war republic status. If you change around these two values, anarchy, order, humanist, inhumane, you change around your government type, and that changes around your modifiers as well. Population in wastelands, that's just telling us that there's people not only in the areas that are technically controlled by a state, such as our territory, or the territory of Metropolis, or the territory of the Brother of Steel, but also in these wastelands. Now, talking about these wastelands, you can take them over, but not now. If right now we send a unit there, you can see that if we open diplomacy, we have military access. Everyone has military access to these wastelands. But, at the same time, there's a problem. We can't take over the territory because right now it's still a little bit too early. Soon enough, once everyone advances in technology and a few events happen and fire that will give us the ability to actually basically essentially technically go to war with the wastelands, which is the way we will start to actually take over the territory. But there will also be essentially raiders that spawn out of here and will try to attack our territory. Hollywood is stupid. That's the pop culture references. I guess we'll turn them off just because, again, there's a ton of events in this mod, and they're trying to steal our blueprints. Damn it. And okay, so we appear to have a wasted IC, which is on upgrades, so we're gonna stop wasting that IC. We are going to protect our borders a little bit better, because our borders, while extensive, they are in a pretty weird shape, which is not good. Now you are gonna be here. Actually, one thing that I'll do is where attachment guards have been upgraded to rangers. Good. That's just upgrades happening. One thing that I'll do is I will display the type of message in a message box, essentially events that are happening to other countries. I don't want to have the game pause every time it displays itself, so okay. Western Caravan runs an NCR. Now the Western Caravan is something that happens every once in a while, which is a way to trade certain types of goods for certain other type of goods. So as you can see, we could sell our resources, we could buy things, and we could offer them ranger protection, which I believe is going to give us a some money later. As you can see, it's for a price. Now, we don't right now really need any actual resources, so we're gonna just give them protection and see what that does, because I haven't played this one tons of time. They're ready to pay us a lot, 10% now and 90% after the job is complete. Due to treaties with the hub and arrangements of security with major trading houses, the profits are added up to stockpiles now. Isn't that trade wonderful? So we get quite a lot of stuff, and we remove border guards from the scenario, which is okay, that one, right. Which is fine. They're gonna give us the unit back. And there's some wars happening around here. Nothing we have to worry about. Not yet, at least. And we also have, I believe, a lot of reinforcements complete, which is why we can change up our economy. Good. Since we have a few extra units of if you have a few extra units of IC available to us, we can yeah, we're gonna build a couple of industrial capacity. this has 100% infrastructure, so that means that they're gonna build at 100% speed, which means that we're gonna do that. We can build one, I believe 2 units of IC. Well, our infrastructure is very bad in certain areas, so we need to improve that. Because that is going to decrease the time it takes for our units to go from one end of our country to another. Which is obviously pretty important considering that we are a pretty big, expansive state. And then since you have 80%, I'm going to build some industry in you. Then once our units are a little bit higher in terms of tech, then we're going to be able to produce a little bit more of actual units as well. Savage Wastelands, let's just explain the Wastelands as I've already done, except a little bit more flavor. April Fool's Day, yeah, right. Everyone play pranks to each other, yay. I love April Fool's Day. And you seem to need a ton of supplies, so let's get a few more factories working on that. That is because we have armor divisions and mechanized divisions, so that is going to be quite bad in terms of okay, it's going to be quite bad in terms of actual upkeep. Now we also fucking sounds. Let's actually reduce the volume of the sound effects. Oh, that's a little bit too much. There's no sound effects now. Fuck you. Oh well, I guess it's either no sound effects or hugely loud sound effects. Okay, whatever. We're also gonna reduce the music volume a little bit. Okay, fine. Yeah, we do have a navy. Navies aren't that important in this one. They will be important when fighting a certain guy called the Enclave, who have bases all around, in just random islands. They just like building secret bases in islands. They're like that. Mutant monsters. Yeah, that's just explaining what kind of monsters are in different parts of the world. And yeah, finally we've got every reinforcement taken care of. And we can... Savage Cannibals, Ranger Raid. Rangers are their own secret society and operate independently from the NCR. This is one of the reasons for their success. They have cells over much of the Wasteland by now, all focused on one thing, striking back at slavers who operate under the hated and powerful Slavers Guild. The gangsters of New Reno do not conduct slaving raids of their own, but they operate some large markets for the guild in New Reno, and are very much an active partner in guild operations, usually through financing. The Rangers have launched some strike on slave camps in New Reno, triggered the raids event, and we get some less relations with them. That probably hurts their economy a little bit, which is fine. Because we're going to have to fight them eventually, and they have quite a decent economy, 35 I see. We have 60. Speaking more of very... oh, good. So we got the early garrison, and now we can go for something else. Unitex. Approved garrisons, no. Apocalyptic. We could go for you, but we need to wait until the NCR army is ready to do it, because they have a much better skill at these technologies than our other tech teams. We could go for Flight Theory, because that's gonna be our way to actually have a useful Air Force rather than just having an Air Force. Unfortunately, we don't have that many good tech teams for this, but we will not complain. We will take it. There's some nice quotes in all the texts. I don't know who called them light. Private Fitzgerald carrying a light mortar. Yeah, I agree. And then once you've tested flight, you will walk the earth with your eyes turned skywards. Hey, at least he did not kill himself with that thing. Leonardo da Vinci. Yes. Now, okay. The madness of war. The bitter civil war. You okay? So basically, there's a war here. Everyone's fleeing west, which is not good, because they're coming right for us. I mean, they're gonna take a while to get here, but it's not good. One thing that I've noticed that we can do is that we have some, we have some artillery brigades. Why can't we detach that? I was gonna say we have some brigades in some of these. Yeah, no, we can't detach them. We have some brigades in these divisions, and I thought we could detach them and then assign them to some of our units that we can actually use, but it doesn't look like it's gonna allow us to do that, which is just sad. Pre-war military training, perfect. And that's gonna be our land doctrine. Next one is gonna be at 2248. We're still at 2245, so that's bad. That would take way too long to research, and we're not gonna do that. We could take combat engineers. Could also take scout motorbikes or wild dogs. Yes, of course. Everybody likes dogs. But I think we should do this first. Frag grenades. And now we get a few infantry battalions to deploy. We will do that in an area where we don't have anything. And we'll manually assign a commander just so it doesn't assign our best commander to that. Because that's a bit of a problem with the game. In Darkest Hour you have division commanders for every division. Or I guess for every army. You have commanders for every army, and the game automatically assigns them if... oh, the Wastelands are flame. Right, okay. That's... yeah, there's gonna be lag coming up from this. Because they're gonna be spawning units. And so the game does not like that a lot. The game absolutely does not like that. And so we're gonna need to be careful for that. Because they're gonna spawn units and we'll be trying to take over our stuff. So we don't want that at all. And yeah, more lag. Which is gonna be something that we have to deal with. And that was in attachment text, that was light orders. Okay. We're gonna take Apocalyptic human soldiers, which is gonna be our second type of trooper. And we will also start to produce some artillery. We are going to put that at the top of the priority because we want to equip some of our troops with that. Now we actually have the tech for it. And more lag. Yeah, as I said, Wastelands are aflame. Don't worry, this will stop soon enough. And once it stops, we'll actually see some action. We'll be needing to move quickly to gain control over as much territory as possible. Because we have quite a lot of rivals in our part of the world. Yes, I know. You're spawning things. It does take quite a long time. Okay. No, damn it. Right as it was about to pause. Oh, yes. This is why, by the way, the mod tells you very funnily to actually autosave monthly. Because sometimes these things crash. Okay. As you can see from the map, some of these areas are being turned from wasteland into occupied by marauders. We can fight these marauders, however, there's a bit of a problem. Of course, we need these guys. This has an IC point, so let's fight them. Can we do anything with this air force? No, nothing that will be useful. Okay, so let's attack there. Now, you'll see soon enough, because this number down here means the amount of divisions that we think they have. Since we have a pretty decent technology rate, these numbers are pretty accurate. As you can see, they're quite a bit bigger than our own, which is the reason why Actually, we really need to protect this province. Wow, it's gonna be faster to move normally than by strategic redeployment? Are you kidding me? Well, that's pretty funny. Okay, so just move normally. Yeah, they're gonna be all coming for us, right? And so we need to... Okay, so for something like our mechanized troops, that's gonna be quite easy to win against them, because they're gonna have a really, yeah, okay. It seems as though the cauldron that has been long brewing has finally boiled over. With the rise of new nation states that are providing clean water, food, and stability, and rule of law for their peoples, the traditional dwellers of the Wasteland are being pushed, and they have decided to push back. Raider bands are now on the move and are growing more and more reckless. This here seems to be a scourge of mutant animals prowling the wastelands in hunting groups. Travelers and nomads are being displaced and looking for new places to live. The time has come for the new nations to stake their claims and on the savage wastelands and pacify them. We'll pacify these regions. So, essentially it's going to be really easy for these guys to defeat the raiders and mutants and the likes, because they have such a great attack and because they are armored and mechanized division, so they have very low level of softness. Softness is the value that essentially separates infantry from vehicles. And since these guys are all very low tech, despite their numbers, they're not going to be able to quite easily defend themselves against armor. Now this is what we want to do, I believe. Los Angeles seems to be out of reach for them, so we're going to have one guy protect here. And then we're going to have the armor come up here and fight up these guys. That will happen in the next episode. So I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Do tell me about it in the comments, what you would like to see from this playthrough. If you like it or not, please leave a like or a dislike if you don't like it. And I'll see you soon.